All right. Good morning. Welcome to Yoga for Stress Relief. Today, we're going to start seated, do a little breathing. You can always do this laying down on your back too. And you'll need a block or balls. So we'll play with, I'll show you two ways to play with what I want to do with the block or the balls. So you can decide what works for you and what, or with whatever tool you have. So do your best to sit tall. You can let your eyes close or just relax your gaze. Relax the muscles around the eyes and lips. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Get settled in your seat. Feel your legs touching the earth. As you inhale, grow tall, lengthen through the spine. Breathe lots of space in between the ribs and around the heart. Keep lengthening through the throat and the crown. And keep that fullness as you exhale. Let the shoulders settle onto the back of the heart. And drop into Ujjayi Pranayama, a gentle tone in the back of the throat. You can imagine that you're fogging a mirror, but keep your lips closed. And we'll do a little pranayama breathing exercise. So it's an inhale for 4 and an exhale for 6. So just take a normal breath in and I'll talk you through it. Let it go. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And take a normal breath in and let it go. And just notice any effects from a couple rounds of breath work. Maybe any changes in the quality of your breath or the quality of your thoughts. And gently open your eyes. We're going to start today with the ball or the block. So I'll show you two ways to work with this. It's going to go under your armpit shoulder. So if you're using the block, I want the kind of the edge of the block. You're going to take your arm up so it wings your shoulder blade out. And you're trying to put it kind of right under your shoulder blade. And you can just lay like Jane Fonda style. If you have like a book, you could use like a thick book or like put a thick book and a blanket over it if it's a little too hard. And then the other way to do this is with your balls. And you can do it with 2 balls in a net or just 1 ball. But you're trying to get right under the shoulder blade wing of like the back of your heart. So the ball is going to be a little bit more like an elbow kind of digging in, like if you're getting a massage. The block will be a little more mild, more maybe like the kind of the palm of your hand pressure. So it kind of depends on which tool you use on how it's going to feel. But either way, we're trying to massage under that shoulder blade. So if you're using the ball, just take the first breath to kind of land, because it can be kind of a lot. And then you play with rolling forward and back. So if you're on the block, you just kind of lean forward and back. And if you have the ball, it can be a little more of a roll. And just, this is all very intuitive, and feel free to kind of add your own little flair, make up some things. Maybe you want your head to be dropping like that. Maybe you want to stagger your legs. And you can lean way back and you can lean way forward. So you're trying to kind of get under that shoulder blade, all the way behind and pretty far in front, where that little tip of the shoulder blade is. And what I kind of like to do is I lift up and then I drag down a little bit, which kind of, I feel like it clunks under my shoulder blade just a little bit more. Then if you're on the block, scoot yourself forward so you can roll even more back. You can kind of hold your head. And then same thing, if you have the ball, you're just doing the same work with the ball, trying to get a little more on the back. And then try to get a little more on the front. So with the ball, you can just kind of lay the ball. Like for me, it's right here where this chest muscle meets the shoulder. With the block, you just use the corner of the block to kind of dig in there. And then slowly come out. And just before you do the second side, take a second to just do a little shoulder check-in, kind of feel the difference on right and left. Reach your arms up or reach them around in front, kind of feel the difference in right and left shoulder. And then go the other way. So just start with the kind of landing and take a couple breaths there, because usually, especially if it's really tight and tender, your muscles kind of clench, and it takes a second for them to be okay with softening. And sometimes you can speed that up by squeezing your muscles and then relaxing them. Maybe do that a few times. And then it's just a slow kind of rock forward and back, maybe even a tiny bit up and down to try to slither that block or the ball even more under the wing of the heart. And I'm not in my armpit, I'm more under the shoulder blade. And if you find like a clunky spot, that's a good spot to slow down and do that breath we practice. So having a longer exhale can help if it's, pretty intense. So then start to play with rocking a little more onto the back, maybe both hands behind the head. And then slide yourself back so you can go more onto the chest. So it's kind of basically the other side. We did the back of the shoulder. So now you're trying to do like the direct opposite of your shoulder blade, which is your pec. And I like to just kind of use my legs to help lean that corner of the block in. If it's a lot, you could also, if you have the ball, you don't have to lay on it. You can kind of just do it a roll like right up here. But I really like to wish that part. And then slowly unwind from that. Come to hands and knees. Do a little cat-cow. Spread the fingers. Exhale as you bow. And keep going with your breath. Now spread the fingers a lot. Try not to lock the elbows and just circle the shoulders around. So they're kind of going towards the fingers. So you're trying to get a little more of a forearm stretch and a wrist stretch, and then go the other way. And come back to center. Bring your right hand behind your head. Point the elbow up to the sky, and then point the elbow towards the floor. So try to stay stable in the hips, and you're rotating upper back shoulders. And then the next time that elbow comes down, take that right hand all the way through, right shoulder to the floor, and then you come to the fingertips on the left, like a little kickstand. And let this left hand kind of help push you so you're leaning more into that right shoulder. Lean a little more into the shoulder that's on the bottom. And you could even look up towards the sky. And then inhale, unwind. Second side, left hand behind the head. Get stable in the hips and the torso as best you can. And think more about rotating shoulders than swaying in the hips. So try to stay strong and stable in the legs and the hips. And then on the next time, let that left arm slide all the way through, left shoulder to the floor, left head to the floor. Come to the fingertips with that right arm. Lean a little more towards the bottom shoulder. Lean back. Inhale, unwind. Make your way to downward facing dog. Spread the fingers, spread the toes, big stretch. Maybe pedal out the feet a little bit, wiggle the hips. And gently move the head around. Then come back to hands and knees. Step the right foot forward to the outside edge of the mat. So lizard, and you could have blocks under your hands or just hands on the floor. But scoot your back knee back as far as you can. So you're pretty long in the stride. And then it's just forward and back with the hips. Inhale the heart forward, hips forward. Exhale, like a wide half split. Just go back and forth. Then pause in your lunge. Scooch the back knee back another inch and walk your hands way forward as far as you can. Just get as long as you can. Then bring your hands under your chest and do kind of like a three-legged push-up. So push into the foot and the hands equally and just bend the elbows. And if you want a little bit more, you could pick up the back knee. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Think more about heart leading the way rather than head leading the way. So keep the head back as you lift and lower the chest. And it can just be a couple inches. Doesn't have to be a lot. Try to equally push into the footprint and the hands. Then left hand down, right arm open, big giant circles with this right arm. And go the other way. And then pause with the arm right by your face and reach the hand towards the floor. So it's a little bit more of like an arcing rainbow. And then slowly unwind, step your right foot back. Take a couple breaths as a yogi's choice. So maybe you do some big hip circles. Maybe you do like an up dog or a cobra, or you come back and rest in child's pose. Don't think too hard about it. Just kind of see what your body wants to do. And then get ready for second side. Left foot steps forward to the outside. Scooch the back knee back. And just back and forth with the hips. Heart forward, hips forward. Pull the hips back. Then pause in the lunge. Scooch the back knee back again, just a little tiny inch. Walk the hands forward as far as you can. Then bring the hands under the chest, lizard push-ups. Bend the elbows and straighten. Push into the foot, push into the hands. Try to keep the ears back, throat back. The right hand down, twist. Big circles with the left arm. Do whatever feels good for the head. You can look up or down or kind of let it be heavy. Go both ways. And then pause with the arm by your face. Reach towards the floor. Lift your ribs up to the sky. Okay, step back. Let's go child's pose this time. So bring your bum all the way back to your heels. Walk your hands forward. You can make a pillow with your hands or stack your fists, but try to let your forehead land on something. And then inhale to seated. Take your legs out in front and just do a little windshield wiper with the legs to start. Then point the knees up. Take your left ankle on top like figure 4. So you might come back to your forearms, or you might come up onto your hands, or even walk yourself closer and closer. So it just depends on how tight your hips are. And then in this shape, rock side to side. And then you're going to hold this one. So the foot is down. So twisting to the foot. Walk your hands around. So I'm going towards the leg that's up. And then twist your belly to the floor. I'm twisting my belly to the floor. And I might go to my forearms or just stay on my hands, but play with this twist. And you can play with walking your hands away from you or crawling your hands towards the foot or away from the foot. And just kind of experiment in this shape. I like to kind of rock forward and back. Then keep the legs like that. We'll switch the arms. So left arm comes around and right hugs the leg. Then from here, take this left foot on top. So your shins are stacked, or you cross the legs and the left shin goes in front, because it can be a lot for the hips to be here. And it's okay if your knee is up. Just do your best to keep this ankle strong. A lot of times this ankle rolls in so we can put the knee down, but I'd rather have a strong ankle, keeping the knee stable so that it brings it more into the pelvis. And so once you're here, and here is fine too, just rock a little in the pelvis, forward and back. Some people can fold all the way forward. You can do that too. Then take this left foot in front. Bring your hands behind the knee. Do your best to sit tall. So you're kind of holding on the leg and let that help you sit tall. Pick up the leg as high as your knee. Pick up the foot as high as your knee. And I'm trying to squeeze the thigh into my ribs and sit tall. And then from here, just play with bending and straightening at the knee joint. A little straight little bend. So I'm trying not to move. A lot of times people will straighten the leg, but the leg moves away from the thigh. So keep this connection while you play with the knee joint, bend and straight. And you might get to where you can kind of crawl your hands closer. You don't have to have a straight leg, but start to walk towards the foot over time. And then bend the knee. Once again, windshield wiper legs right and left. Do a little check in with the hips. Feel the difference in right and left sides of the hips. And then second side with the seated figure 4. So again, you can be back here, start to rock side to side. Maybe you can sit upright, flex this foot, keep the foot and ankle strong, which stabilizes the knee. So this stretch moves where I want it, which is in the hips. Then land with the foot down. I'm twisting towards the foot that's in front, and my belly goes towards the floor. Twist your belly to the floor and play with where your hands go. Maybe you're on your forearms. Maybe you kind of army crawl closer to that foot or farther away. And then I like to shift a little forward and back. And then lift yourself up, twisting the other way. So right hand behind, hug the leg, twist. Then this top leg goes on top of the shin or in front. And then just a little forward and back with the hips. So even if this knee is really high, you're still getting into the hips. And I kind of like to do a pelvic tilt. So it's like I'm rocking forward on the pelvis and back on the pelvis and really trying to feel that femur bone, the thigh bone, in my pelvis, in the hip socket. And then come back upright. Stamp the foot in front, hands behind the knee. Pull on the leg to help you sit tall. Then bring the foot as high as your knee. And then see if you can start to straighten it while you stay sitting tall. A little bend straight, bend straight. Pay attention to the spot where you want to compensate. So that's when something else changes because you're like, I really need to get my legs straight. So then you lean back and the leg comes out. But I'd rather you keep this connection, this compression, and play with not going all the way straight, but letting it be smaller. Maybe crawling the hands up closer. Lift your heart. And if you have a strap around the foot would be handy. But I didn't tell you to grab one, so we're just holding on to the leg. And then slowly release. Do a little shake out. And then come onto your back. Pull the knees in. Just do little circles, one knee in each hand, and circle the thigh bones in the pelvis. Try to let those legs be heavy. Relax your head and neck and shoulders. Go both ways. And then grab the knees and just kind of rock right and rock left. And then take your hands straight out from your shoulders, palms down. So you're using the palms pushing down to help ground the shoulders. And then knees together, feet together. And you're taking the knees right and left just into a little hover. So hover to the right, hover to the left. So this is a little core work. And what I want you to play with is the opposite shoulder is staying heavy while you find your edge. Some people can go just to a little hover right above the ground. And some people, it's plenty of work just to lean a tiny bit right and left. So don't worry too much about how far you're going. Just pause in that moment where your core activates to hold you up. And if you want a little more, you could play with tilting the knees towards the floor and the feet towards the sky. So it'd be a little bit of an angle. And a tiny bit more of a twist. Don't forget about keeping that shoulder heavy. And then a couple other ways to play with more is what the top leg goes straight. And then you come through center and switch. And then the next time you're on the right side, go ahead and land in that twist. Let the legs land. Take a big breath into the left hip, left belly. Breathe into the left side of the heart and the left lungs. Breathe into the left side of the face. And then slowly come back to center, switch sides. Twist to the left. Big breath in the whole right side. Giant breath into the right pelvis. Breathe into the right ribs and lungs. Breathe into the right side of the heart and the face and the right side of the brain. And come back to center. Come do a bridge pose. And if you do have a block, you can slide it under your bum and let your bum land on it. Or you can just push into a regular bridge. Snuggle the shoulders under the heart. Take 3 really long breaths. Let the exhale be longer than the inhale. Keep anchoring through the shoulders and the feet and the skull. Try to be equal in the right left footprint. And if you are holding your bum up, slowly let it land and let your feet go a little wide, knees together. If you have the block under your hips, you can eventually lift off when you're ready. And then get yourself ready to rest. So get yourself cozy. If you have a couch nearby, you can put your legs on the couch, like your knees all the way on the cushion, so the whole shin is supported. Or you can put like a pillow under your knees, give yourself a knee pillow. And just take a nice giant breath in, relax your fingers and toes. Long exhale, relax your face and eyebrows. Let your bones be heavy. Let your skin be soft. Relax your jaw and your tongue. Letting go into stillness. Resting in Shavasana. Breathe into your belly, your lungs, and your heart. As you exhale, gently wiggle fingers and toes. Roll your wrists and your ankles. Reach your arms overhead. Take a lazy stretch. Bend your knees, rest on your side. And take your time coming up to seated. Sitting tall. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And just take a moment to honor your efforts for showing up today. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. May you be happy and peaceful, healthy and strong. safe and protected, and may all beings benefit from your yoga practice. Thank you for coming. Namaste.